Let's go! Today guys, I got something huge for you because while everyone are focusing on the death cross right now, everyone are literally talking about it. Sometimes you have to look beyond the obvious thing, and this is going to blow your mind. Also, we are going to talk about some very important on-chain metrics, and I am going to tell you why I am thinking the way I am doing. So you need to watch this video. This is going to be perhaps one of the most important videos you will watch and how to become successful in the crypto space. But welcome back everybody. My name is Cristiano, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers. So with that said, before we talk about this insane chart, let us look at Bitcoin on shorter time frames. And before we look at my support and resistance levels, I want to give you the heads up that we do have this formation right now forming on the 4-hourly candles. And this is looking like a bit of a triangle right here. But although we've had this fake out here, but the most important thing is not the formation of this. The most important thing is that you should be aware that if we go up here again, this is going to probably act as resistance again. So you can see that this is going down like this. Of course, this is also going to be respected on the way up here because you can see that about 3 times it got respected here. And I'm talking about the general vicinity here, guys. You can see that 3 times it got respected there, 3 times there, a couple of times here, and a couple of times here. So the exact levels are not important. Just look at the overall formation of this structure. So that's the heads up I want to give you right now. Before we dive into this chart right here, I want to also talk a bit about where we are on the 4-hourly time frames on my support and resistance levels. And you can see that we've been trying to break above my orange line on the 4-hourly time frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times very clearly. And for all of you who were actually paying attention, you already knew that this orange line was here. And so some of you have been playing off of this line, and you can see that, yeah, this is indeed rather strong resistance right now. But now let's move on over to the BLX chart. And what I'm going to do now is I am actually going to delete all of these and just explain what I'm looking at here. So, and then after this, we're also going to talk about my general thoughts about the market. Are we in a bear market or not? And how should you play this? Okay, so this is the BLX chart, and this goes back all the way to 2010, basically since its inception of Bitcoin. So from the very start, this is the price action from Bitcoin. And if you look at the previous cycles and you draw Fibonacci's from them, I would consider that this is a cycle. Okay, so we definitely topped out here. You can clearly tell that this was the top. I think that everyone can agree with that. And you can clearly see that this was the bottom. Okay, so this was the, this was the top and this was the bottom. Now we extend this Fibonacci retracement or Fibonacci tool. And what you can see right here is a couple of things. The first thing you can see is that we very clearly respected many of these levels. But the most important thing is that once you went into this massive parabolic phase, this is what happened. We had, towards the latter parts of the bull market, we had a retracement down to the 1.618 level, this blue line right here. Okay, so pay attention to this because this is going to be very important. But since we got down to this 1.618 Fibonacci level, since then, we went up, we had some sideways action, and then we continued the massive bull market and eventually formed the cycle top right here. Okay, so we do the same thing right now. We draw the Fibonacci from the previous cycle top of this cycle down to the bottom right here. You can see the bottom very clearly here at $161. Cycle top was at 1,173. So this was a brutal drop and this was the bear market. Now, if we extend this, so we continue. And what can we spot here? Again, you can see that the price was respecting many of these levels, But the most important thing is that once we went into the parabolic phase, we did have that retracement down to the, again, blue line, 1.618 Fibonacci level. And this was also a brutal drop. This was a drop of 40%. But since we had that drop from this level, we continued and we went up, and we went into actually the most parabolic phase of this bull market. And the same thing here. Once you saw that drop down to the 1.618 Fibonacci level, that is when we actually went into perhaps the most parabolic phase, going from $50 all the way up to 1,161. Okay, so we have some data now for both of these cycles. Let's do the same thing for the last cycle. So you can see that the peak here at $20,000 December of 2017, you can see the bottom here at $3,000. So we draw the Fibonacci just like we've been doing previously. And we draw the Fibonacci, we fit it like that. And so we extend this. And again, what can we see? Well, what we can see is that we're respecting many of these levels, but you can also see that right now we are testing the 1.618 Fibonacci level, the blue line right here. So we had this big pump, we had a very big correction as well. And right now we are resting on the 1.618 Fibonacci level. And before I talk about what I think this means, guys, if this content is interesting to you, if you're enjoying the video so far, then make sure to push us towards 200,000 subscribers right now. Also activate the bell. The most important thing is for you to also activate the bell actually, because that means that you are going to get the updates I post on this channel as soon as possible. Now, let's get back to the content and let's talk about what I think this means. And first thing I will say is this. Look, I think that people are too focused on whether we are in a bull or bear market right now. What should matter is price alone. I mean, it doesn't matter if you are in a bear market, if you are in a bull market, because what should matter is the price solely. Because sure, we can drop even further here. And as you know, if you've been paying attention to my videos, I think that $20,000 is the absolute bottom if we continue to go down. Now, I'm not saying that that is going to happen, but what I'm saying is that that is what I consider the bottom if we continue to go down. But what I do think is that the bottom or the previous drop down to $30,000 here, I think that this is just as likely to be the actual bottom for Bitcoin here as opposed to us dropping further, okay? So I just want to make that clear. We can drop further, but then again, what you have to consider is that if we drop further here, that is something that we haven't really seen in previous cycles. So that would be a very obvious deviation, because you can see that right here, if you draw the Fibonacci, in the same way in every cycle, we have at most dropped to the 1.618 level here, the blue line. Okay, right there, you got it right there, and we are right now resting on it right here. Meaning that if you bought during this cycle at the blue level, that was a very good buying opportunity. Now again, can we drop further? I need to emphasize on that. Yes, we can. It just means that this would not follow the same pattern we've been seeing previously. But this is where I start to talk about risk versus reward, because this is why I'm saying you should not focus on whether we are in a bear market or not. Because from a risk to reward standpoint, sure, I mean, if you think that Bitcoin is going to drop to $20,000 or even $15,000, sure, it is going to save you, in this case, 35% in unrealized profits and loss. So if you sell here at $30,000 and it drops down to $20,000, you load up here, sure, good on you. But there's also risks involved with that, because if you sell right now and Bitcoin continues to go up and that the stuff we've been seeing previously actually holds true, then you may about to miss out on the most parabolic phase of the bull market. Now, again, we were resting in the previous bull market. We were resting at the 1.618 blue line right here. Bitcoin was at 1,843. Could we, at this point, have dropped down to 1,158, which would have been a huge drop? it would actually have been a almost 35% drop. Sure, we could have done that, but I can promise you, all the people who sold right here anticipating the drop down to 1,200, they are now regretting that because they actually missed out on the most parabolic phase. And this was 1,010% in gains. They missed out because they wanted to save, what, 35% in unrealized profits and loss. And we continue, we go to the previous cycle. We were resting at the blue line right here. Could we, at this point, at $50, I was about to say $50,000, but at $50, could we have dropped down to this level here at $32, which would have been a, again, 38% drop? Yes, we could have. But selling at this point, everyone who did that are now regretting that because they missed out on, I need to resize this. So like that, they missed out on 2,232% in gains. So this is why I'm trying to tell you, like, selling at these levels, especially as you have massive support here at $30,000, is a massive risk. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you whether you should sell, whether you should not sell, whatever you should do. You do you. I'm just telling you what the charts are telling me. And from a risk to reward standpoint, to me, it doesn't make sense selling at this level. I could be wrong. We could drop down even further, but that's already calculated into my strategy here. So I'm prepared for the drop. But yeah, just understand that there's also risks involved with selling at this level. Not telling you what to do. You do you, I do me. Hey guys, I'm going to save the on-chain stuff, which I was going to talk about, to my next video actually. So if you want to see that and you want to see my analysis about that as well, make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. And before we wrap this up, if you want to do voiceovers for me and expand the Satoshi Stacker community, make sure to apply if you're speaking Russian, Hindi, any of these languages. So we are about to wrap this up within the next couple of days. You got all of the information here in this link right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.